Hello everyone, Winners here with episode 4 of Mista Pandaria Hunter Beta Changes, and we're going to look at talents today. I spec'd in a BM, and I'm looking for talents that sort of complement how I play. I like to disengage a lot, I like to kite everything I can, and I feel I'm looking also for some talents to help me fight casters because, casters really hamper my existence. So let's take a quick look at the first row. We have everything to do with disengage. We got post haste, same thing before. Disengage, speed buff, great for PvE, don't see it so useful for PvP. We have narrow escape, which is a new one, which I spec'd into. Super fun when you use it. You're getting all these great webs. Anybody within 8 yards of where you disengage from, getting rooted for 3 seconds, and a spray of webs. I think it's just pretty neat. It's cool because if you're anything but survival, you don't get entrapment anymore. So I guess it's a kind of a way, you used to drop a frost trap, then disengage just to get the person rooted, or drop a snake trap, disengage. This is rooting them every time. Sort of a makeup for not having entrapment. Exhilaration, this one here is what I've been PvPing with the most so far. This is healing you for 15% of your total health. This is broken. This won't make live the way it is. I can't see it happening. It just heals for a lot. Right now it's healing me for about 21,000. And it can crit and heal me for 42,000. It's nuts. Fighting a frost mage, I can just take all of their damage straight on, and I can just counter it with heals from this. So again, I like it a lot. Not much to show you. Disengage, pop, heal. Easy. But it really feels a bit broken, and it's making PvP very one-sided for me. So we'll see what that changes into. Second tier here, we got a whole bunch of controls. Silencing shot. Been great to have silencing shot, and as a BM spec, kind of always wanted that as a baseline thing, so I'm specking it for now. Wyvern Sting, which is exactly the same as it always was, and to me probably one of the least interesting hunter abilities out there. Feels super bland and then puts a dot on something at the end of it. It just feels like a pathetic freeze trap, especially with a 1 minute cooldown. Not interested. Binding shot, I'm going to test this one out a little bit at the end because I'll respec into it, but it has some, I haven't seen a lot of use for it yet, but it's pretty interesting ability. This next tier here's got a little mixed bag of everything. We got cooldowns, we have sort of the penultimate hunter talent in the center there, and then we have Spirit Bond, which got a bit of a buff. So, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Chimera, this is a 10-second disengage reduction, 60 second deterrence reduction. So it's good just in general if you like kiting, or if you like kiting, you want to kite. Disengage coming down 10 seconds, brings it to 15 seconds. Super fun to use. Like it a lot. Glyph of disengage isn't there anymore, so 15 seconds is as low as you can get that. So I think it's a nice thing to have. But this center one here, really hard to pass up. It's Aspect of the Hawk, which is your 10% AP, but it's 15% damage reduction on top of it. 15% damage reduction is 15% damage reduction. I think it's a PvP must-have, especially if you're not so good at kiting. This can counter a lot of damage. Tough decision between these two, but Aspect of the Iron Hawk, I could see a lot of people picking this one just because it's a super sweet talent. Spirit Bond over here too, again like I said, got a buff, so now it regenerates 3% of your health every 2 seconds, and if we can just think about that for a sec, I'm healing 20,000, I'm healing 15% of my health even with this here, 15 seconds, 3% of my health every 2 seconds. When we're at 10 seconds, I'm at 20 seconds, I'm at 30% of my health. When I get to 25 seconds, I'm only healing 15 here. So, Spirit Bond is healing a lot now. And again, this entire row, great survivability things, but, you really got to see how it plays out for how you like to play things. Fervor here. And this tier here, we have some, I guess, resource management. Fervor, super boring. 50 focus when you use a cooldown. Big advantage, now it's 30 seconds. It's not 2 minutes anymore. And I can't name the amount of times Fervor has finished an opponent off, where I've just needed, a little bit more focus to get them into kill shot range. Fervor's been there for me. It's like a wingman. It's like a drinking buddy. Maybe not the most interesting person in the world, but there for you when you need it. Then we have Readiness. Hasn't changed at all, except now it works on Bestial Wrath.
I'll need to equip that to use it.
I need a pet.
That's not equipped.
So we use Readiness, and then we get use Bestial Wrath again. So it's just really, really kind of OP in that respect, because you can chain Bestial Wrath. Been playing around with this a whole lot. I'm finding a bit of a PvP must right now, because traps, disengages, deterrences, Bestial Wrath, camouflage, because especially with camouflage and new changes, this has been a cool talent. Hard decision between Fervor and Readiness, because again, Fervor was super comfortable with it. Now with a 30-second cooldown, it's 4 times better than it was before. Readiness, super powerful in the hands of a BM Hunter. Thrill of the Hunt hanging out here at the end. It's changed a bit. It's not very interesting. Just 15% chance when you use any attack that costs focus to cause your next ability that costs focus to be free. PvE thing. Not really my thing. Next tier here, this is all undeveloped. There's no abilities here right now. Murder of Crows sounds pretty interesting. I'm going to spec it just because it sounds badass. Menagerie, which I think will be Stampede, or where Stampede ends up. And then Toxin, probably maybe something like Serpent Spread, although you get Serpent Spread, so not too sure exactly what that is right now. Level 90, we have some really OP abilities. We have Glaive Toss, which when you throw glaives and they come back, if they end up going through a number of targets, they basically reset their own cooldown. So it's just another AoE ability, looking to be a replacement for multi-shot, but the idea is that it needs to be thrown through a lot of targets. It applies roots, it does AoE damage. It's kind of cool. I think it's a little underpowered right now, so we'll see what that evolves into. Power Shot, it's just aim shot with knockback on a 1 minute cooldown. I would only take this if I'm doing random battlegrounds and Eye of the Storm, just want to smack people off the flag. Seems like a really cool thing to do, with, especially with the new stealth camo. You can sneak up on somebody and just blast them off the side of a cliff. I know how to get a lot of kicks out of that one. Probably not the most useful rated wise, but I know I'm going to have fun with Power Shot. Then Barrage here. This here's probably what I'm going to take for more serious PvP encounters. Basically, it's a channeled 3-second channel that fires a barrage of arrows at a single target, and then as well as it fires some weaker arrows at everybody around it. So it's an AoE that sort of focuses on one person. Right now, the amount of damage it's dealing, 288% to a single target. Tons of damage. I can't wait to get to 90 just to try this out, because it's going to hurt. You can also use this with Aspect of the Fox and channel this while moving. Really cool to test this one out, because I think it can do a lot of hurt to a single target. Just waiting for that to come live. Anyways, let me just quickly spec in a Binding Shot, and that will be the end of this video. Pausing it. Okay everyone, and I'm back. I just did a little quick respec, picked up a couple things I didn't have before. I'm just gonna pop them out on my bar here for a sec. So Binding Shot. Over on this page here. Can't find anything. There you go. New Binding Shot's really interesting with the way it works, and it's going to be hard to test out on a dummy because it requires your target to move away from the shot. So what it does is when you fire this shot, anything that lands within the targeting radius will be bound to it. If they essentially move outside of the range of the targeting radius, they're going to be stunned for 5 seconds. Gotta find out some more practical applications for this, because I know that there's going to be some interesting things to do with it. So I'm going to fire it here. the rabbit's going to be bound because he's a critter. He's probably going to run away and get stunned, while the target dummy won't because, well, it's a target dummy. So, you see, there it goes. It just ran. It's now stunned. And these guys here aren't stunned, they're just tethered. And this tethered arrow will sit there for a while, just disappeared. But essentially, as long as that tethered arrow's there, if they move away from it, they're getting stunned. As BM, I mean, we got Intimidate on the pet, so this shares the same diminishing returns. I don't exactly know how it's going to work out with that. Maybe more of a bit of a PvE thing. But I'm not really seeing a whole lot of applications for it just yet. But I guess that can always change. And then we have Exhilaration, which is the really OP heal disengage. There you go, 20,000. That can crit. See how far I went to? That's a glyph, but we'll get into that next episode. But yeah, that can that can crit. That 21,000 becomes 42,000. It's just really, really huge. Scales with health buff, so if somebody throws Fort on me, it's even more powerful because it's 15%. Just really cool. And then there's also Fervor, which, again, I just really like because it's got a 30-second cooldown. I mean, it's sort of hard to demonstrate on a short term, but Fervor with a 2-minute cooldown was a lifesaver. 30-second cooldown. It's a hard decision over readiness. Let's put it that way. Now we have Spirit Bond here. Really, the only way to show you is to take damage. Well, that wasn't really a lot of damage, but let's take some more. Alright, so can't really see the heals. Let's go to the combat log. Go to self. Oh, we need a pet. There you go. Now we gain Spirit Bond. Okay, every 2 seconds I'm healing for 4,150. Every 2 seconds. Here, I'm just hanging out, heal 4,150. So that in a row with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Chimera, and Aspect of the Ironhawk, very good decisions in this row. I mean, it's a huge hot. It's as powerful as a healer puts on you. Take lots of damage. And my pet's just healing it back up. Throw it on with Spirit Mend. You know, there's 13k Spirit Mend, and it's ticking for 4 as well. Huge ability. I could see this being really huge in arenas. Probably going to get nerfed because, again, all this healing that I'm doing, really OP. Oh, 20,000 on disengage. I'm just healing constantly, so tons of heals. I'm currently out healing some healers and battlegrounds, which I don't think is right. Anyways, next episode we're going to be looking at glyphs, because the glyphs system brings a lot of new interesting changes, just like the talents, and there's a lot to suss through. So anyways, tune in for the next episode. Bye!